Carla Byrd, and I'm the Family Service Advisor here at Cone Funeral Home. Hi, I wanted to share with you all today my why behind what I do. I grew up in a small town, Franklin, Kentucky. I'm sure everyone knows it. And I stepped off into the world of industry and then sales, corporate world, all of those kinds of things, but I always had a hole in my heart. That's what it felt like. I really didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. But I lost a corporate job about 7 years ago and just said, you know what, I really don't want to do the job thing anymore. I really want to serve people. I want to love on people, and I want to do ministry in my life. You know how you have dreams when you're a little girl and you think, I'll never be able to do that dream? When I was a little girl, actually a teenager, a friend of mine, her son, passed away, and I watched her go through that grieving process. I watched her, be there for her family, and I watched people care for her. But then I saw her turn her life around and give it to the funeral industry, and she began to work at one of our local funeral homes. And I always thought, I really would like to do what she does. And so back in 2010 or so, then actually a little bit later than that, 2013, I was approached by someone about serving in the funeral industry, and I thought, oh my goodness, that's the ideal thing, that's what I want to do. Little did I know that it was really what God had planned for me all along. And so I watched several people grown a lot in serving people, and part of what I do is a little different. I help families prepare for one of the worst days of their life through pre-need funeral planning, and then I serve the families after someone passes away with our aftercare program, and you'll hear some more about that later. But what I really learned was from my own personal experience. I had a cousin, his mom passed away. First of all, his dad passed away when he was 17 years old. And then a year later, the unbelievable happened. His mother became very ill, and then she also had to pass away. He was 18 years old at the time, and he had to make some hard choices, decisions, and he had to do all of her funeral arrangements. And I learned on that day, I learned through that experience that I never wanted to see anybody walk through the doors of our funeral home, any funeral home, with no plans made, not knowing what needs to happen, what that needs to look like, but most of all without a relationship with the funeral home and those people that are going to be taking care of your loved one on that day. I've seen people in my world and people all around of us, they live till somebody passes away, and then everybody panics. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to call. They don't know. It's just all these what ifs, all of these unknowns. And so I began to take on that thought process, and I've helped and served a lot of people all over Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga. But I always had a heart to come home, serve the people in our community, serve the people that I know and love, and be able to help them not just have funeral services, but to be able to plan them just like we plan weddings. We plan a lot of things in our lives, but the one thing that we struggle with planning is the one thing that's going to happen, and that is that we're all going to pass away, and we want to celebrate who we were on the earth. And so I help people to do that. And then fast forward to 2017, then I came home to live in Bowling Green, Kentucky, but I still worked in Nashville, Tennessee. And my dad got very sick, ill, and we walked through that grieving process on a personal level. And when he passed away, it wasn't pretty. It was very not, it was ugly. It was an Alzheimer's case, and it was just very ugly. And I watched as the day of his funeral service, we had some things put together. I work in this industry, so I knew what to do, but there was things that we could have done differently, we could have changed, and so it brought it even more to home what we need to do. But when he passed away, as I told you before, it wasn't pretty, it was ugly, and I watched as at the funeral service, that brought back the honor that he deserved. As he lay there in his casket, then that honor as the fire department in Franklin, Kentucky honored him, saluted him, as we were able to take the funeral procession and pass it through by the fire station, and all the firemen stood out there and saluted him, even to his gravesite, because we had some things planned and in place. And so that's why I get even more passionate, because I know that we don't get to die, or we don't get to pass away in the perfect way that we all think. But you know, it happens in many different ways. So with helping people to be prepared, planned, it takes away all of that fear of the unknown as far as funerals and funeral services, and it lets you truly be able to be in a place to honor your loved one and help them to be honored on the final day of their life here on earth. We do this all because we want to serve our families, and we want to take care of each and every one to the best of their ability. We do it all simply because we care.
Feel free to contact us at any time at Cone Funeral Home if we can be of service to you. Our address is 1510 Campbell Lane, Bowling Green, Kentucky, 42101. And our phone number is 270-904-4201. And with that number, we are accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Thank you so much for watching.